Hey guys, welcome back to WiseKracks. Bill Krackomberger. Today we have a special guest, George Martorano, my buddy for a long time, and John Orlando unfortunately couldn't be on this show today. One of his friends that was in the gym had a brain aneurysm, and unfortunately he's doing really bad. So that happened yesterday. So John took off. Really makes me feel bad. The guy's a young guy, goes to the gym every day, and poor guy, I'm praying for the best, but John said it's really bad. So his daughter said it's really bad. So anyway, I got George here. He was going to come on, but now I'm just going to have him on the whole show. George and I did a podcast with John in the studio, and George did 32 years in jail for marijuana. And you've been out, though, for about, what, 10 years?
10 years, October, this past October.
10 years this past October.
Right.
And George now has a company called the Growfather. As a matter of fact, our producer, JH, is going to put a clip up. You're on these buses in Philadelphia now. I see you on the buses. And his product here, the Growfather, which there's a convention here in town right now. This is his product. I'll show John this one too. But so this is a legal product that is put up by, we just met the people, coincidentally, your people here, Little Leaf Labs. They produced this product for the dispensaries, am I right? The Growfather is the brand. But you guys are in 152 dispensaries. Where are they at, George?
All through the state of Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey. Now, is marijuana legal in Pennsylvania?
It is medically, but they're going to wreck soon. As New York. New York is going to probably be the state in the industry.
Okay.
Because of New York City.
Yeah.
So we'll be going into New York. Not a month goes by, or other states don't want us. But the question is, it's not about money with my name attached to Growfather. It's about having good product that. You pay your money and you get your results, but it has to be not to harm anyone. I would not put product out to harm anyone. So it's not about money. I could have the Growfather in many other states, but I don't know the product line. I have to actually go into the lab where they make it and watch how it's done and bring my specialists in, because it is a good industry. It's a lucrative industry, but the most important thing to me is not hurting anyone and creating jobs. Right now in America, there's over 1 million jobs from the cannabis industry. I'm so proud of that. Just in my company alone, we have 20 people working, young people who believe this is their future. So you could say it's a new industry. You could say it's an old streetwise industry, because marijuana has been around a very long time. Like you said earlier, I did 32 years, ladies and gentlemen, 5 years in solitary. I don't know if you know, it's easy to say 5 years in solitary, but go ahead and try to do it. And all I did was for conspiracy to marijuana. I never got caught with anything.
That's unbelievable. Conspiracy to marijuana, 32 years in jail.
No record, never even had a parking ticket.
Now, because they wanted your father?
Well, my father was in the mob.
Your father was a big name. You can look up Long John Martorano.
My godfather, Angelo Bruno, was the boss. My father was the top guy. And all they wanted to me was to be a rat, and which I never will be. And nonviolent first offender. Matter of fact, my guidelines from the government shouldn't have surpassed 52 months. I did over 3 decades.
Wow.
And again, if I did to them what they did to me, that would be illegal. But it wasn't illegal what they did to me, as far as they're concerned. Okay, and it was just brutality. First of all, when you get life, no parole, that means you die in jail. There's no coming out. So you give me life, no parole, and then you put me in solitary for 5 years, punishment on top of punishment. And the only way they got away with it, they kept moving me because it was illegal. You can't give somebody life, no parole and put them in the box. Come on. Anyway, they did that to me, and if other countries did that to their citizens or their criminals, America would be the first one to intervene. You can't do that. That's wrong. But they did it to me.
And you couldn't get a lawsuit against them or nothing. There's nothing like that.
Well, I'm pending. We're waiting for the government to drop cannabis from a Schedule 1 to 3. that means Tylenols at 3. That means I'll be exonerated from anything illegal attached to my name, as far as the federal indictment. So I should get a hopefully when that happens, I'll get a letter in the mail, because I cannot be punished futurely on paper to be a convicted felon for something that's totally legal. So my lawyers will initiate, of course. Do I get a letter in the mail that I'm exonerated from the federal indictment? And then I'm contemplating put $100 million lawsuit. And some of the biggest law firms in the country want the case.
Right. George, you look unbelievable. So you look great. Can I ask your age?
I'll be 76 this month.
You look unbelievable. And George, so you got out when you were 66. You this morning, you said you did a cold plunge and then you jogged. Did you jog this morning?
Cold plunged at 4:30.
4:30 in the morning, cold plunge.
Then I ran for an hour. Okay, then I did some weights, and one more cold plunge, and then I met you 8:30.
Wow, wow. You did 2 cold plunges before 8:30 in the morning. No, you look great, but however, let me tell you, guys at home, guys and girls, I got a call about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer, and my friend said, you gotta watch this on Netflix. It's unbelievable. Mob War, Philadelphia versus the Mafia. And this guy's a mob historian from Scranton. He's got $1 million books. He's got, we say $1 million. He literally has hundreds of books. He's got thousands of hours. It's all he listens to, his podcast and watches things. For him to call me up and say this was so good, this Mob War, Philadelphia versus the Mafia, it's on Netflix. So I have watched it multiple times already. I thought it was that good. Well, first of all, I didn't even know. I turned it on. You're in it. You're on it. I'm like, this is George.
That was filmed by a London production company called Raw. They were paid by Netflix to do the shoot, and they were affiliated with, I think, I'm not 100% sure, Fair City in 2022.
Oh, Fair City was good too.
They did Fair City.
Then they did Get Gotti. They did that too?
Award-winning Fair City, award-winning Get Gotti. This is the same production firm. So when I heard they were coming to Philly to do a show, I introduced myself. We hooked up. But the Mob War, the Philly Mob War era was in the 90s, early 90s. I was already away. I already was away 10, 12 years. I went away in 1983. I was around the first 2 mob wars, where a lot of people were killed. I lost my godfather, I lost my father.
Yeah, your dad.
But this current show is doing very well.
Oh, it was on a top 10. It was on a top 10 things on Netflix for a while.
I wasn't there, but the reason they wanted me on the show is that I assisted a lot with the history of it all. Most important thing were locations, things like that. So they offered, I said, I don't want to be in the show because I wasn't around when that war went down.
Right.
I said, but I'd be happy if I could have a cameo.
You had a few of them.
So they gave me a cameo in the first hour and the third hour.
Yeah.
And I was happy. And the cameo's got an awful lot of positive reaction.
It's got a ton of views, and it's a great. I learned things. I'd seen a lot of specials back in the day. There was a guy named Bill Curtis that used to do Mafia shows. So I've seen some Philadelphia ones. This one, I never knew who this guy John Vesey was. I never knew this guy John Vesey. He was on there, maybe the star of it, if you want to call him a star. He's killed many people. He was very open about his life, very open about the war back and forth, how he killed people, and obviously he got out of trouble. Or maybe I'm sure he did time. I don't even know. It really didn't.
But he was an informant.
He was an informant. Okay.
An informant.
Yeah.
You know, when a rat goes to jail,
right,
he doesn't go where a regular prisoner goes.
Right.
He goes to like a country club. I mean, I heard stories. The cells have rugs in the cell.
Oh wow.
They order food from the street. They have free phone right in their cell. Access to free phone.
Yeah.
They have them. Conjugal visits, and by law it's supposed to be your wife. They have girlfriends. I mean, it's if you do WiseKracks time, it's a whole different. The places I were killing fields.
But Joey Merlino was one of the guys that this was focused around. Every episode said he was never arrested for any mafia crime, but he did do a lot of time in jail. Joey, who you know very well, and I actually got to meet him and talk to him a few times. Very open. We talked pretty openly, him and I.
Well,
but these cheesesteak places are doing great.
Oh, he has
his cheesesteak place. You can't get in. You cannot get in.
It's about Skinny Joey's Cheesesteaks on Broad Street, South Broad Street, right off of Packard Avenue. And what's good about that place, it's 2 blocks away from all the major sports arenas where the Eagles play.
What a location.
The Phillies play, the Flyers play, the Sixers play. I mean, they hold tens of thousands of people, and a lot of people coming from South Philly, downtown area, they walk right past the cheesesteak, and they get a cheesesteak, and they can get beer now.
Wow.
And they get beer, and they go on
Joey's
to the
place
stadium.
has beer?
We got beer now.
Oh, they have a beer license.
Right.
Wow.
Now
they're killing it.
To buy a beer there is a few dollars. But if you go buy a beer at one of them, the stadiums, it could be $20.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what it is. So we're going to talk about a couple different subjects here, one of which, I have to be blunt, I am shocked. I know there was protesters there yesterday when this was passed. So New York, the gaming facilities board said it carefully reviewed each bid. They kept on turning down casinos. They turned down the Wynn. Well, they granted 3 licenses yesterday. This kind of shocks me. There's a 5-person unpaid New York gaming board was tasked with deciding where these licenses will go. 3 licenses have passed. One to Steve Cohen, the owner of the New York Mets. He's going to put a casino right in the old Shea Stadium parking lot, which is now called Citi Field, which I went to a lot when I was a kid. When I was a kid, everyone in the house was a Yankee fan, and my uncle had season tickets for the Mets. So, and he was friends. I think I told in this spot before. I told you guys he was friends with Dave Kingman, the right fielder, and I used to go all the time. I got to meet some of the players there. It was really, really cool, and I just can't believe. You know, I like to think that I'm kind of a man of the people because I know what it is to gamble. I think this is going to hurt. I'll be the first person to say this probably. I was probably against this. I think it's just going to hurt so many people. I know it's going to bring plenty of jobs. You know, they always say it's going to bring billions of dollars in tax dollars. And everything. Yeah, okay, and plenty of jobs. What about the families that it's going to hurt? I mean, 3 casinos in New York. I be blunt with you. I'm absolutely shocked. Now listen, you got a casino over there. You can jog probably from the cheesesteak place to the casino. That's how close it is.
We got in South Philly. We have
Delaware Avenue.
2 casinos in Philly. The city of Philly has 2 casinos. Outside of Philly, I think they have another 3.
But right in South Philly, right?
Yeah. We got Live right in South Philly.
Right.
We have Rivers.
That's
North Philly. And then you have on the outskirts, you got 3 or 4 casinos.
George, what has it done to, like, I got to be blunt, those people that are living in Philly that, you know, struggling month to month, I just, it has to hurt the community. I don't mean to sound so negative. Maybe it does raise money for certain things, and people are going to gamble anyway.
Right.
But,
right.
So what's your opinion? I have no idea what your opinion is on casinos.
I think, gambling, what's going to take away, if they open up 3 casinos in New York City,
right.
Naturally, why should you get in your car, if you're a New Yorker, why should you get in your car and drive almost 3 hours to Atlantic City?
That's right.
When you can gamble right there. So I believe they're going to lose business that way.
But it had to hurt, South Philly had to hurt Atlantic City, I'm thinking.
Absolutely, yeah. People don't want to, they don't want to wait to lose their money. You know, they want to lose it as fast as they can. And this is what these casinos do. I heard stories that kids were coming home from school for dinner, and the mother's at the casino gambling.
Wow.
They're not cooking.
Of course.
I heard stories like that.
And you're in that environment. You're going to gamble when you get older. I know me. My mother and father both gambled. My mother was an old school Italian. Her whole family in the Bronx, they all gambled, you know, and it hurt everyone in the end. It was fun, but no one has money today. You know,
a lot of these restaurant people work in restaurants, which I'm well known on the restaurant scene in Philly and New York. You know, they get done work and then we go. Sometimes I'm there. You go to a lesser, you know, high-end restaurant. You go to a lesser place, hang around, listen to music, get a drink. And what I'm noticing the last year, all these restaurant workers, waitresses and the bartenders, they're all on their phone gambling.
There you go.
They're
That's
all
what I mean.
on their phone gambling.
Oh, on the apps. I never even thought of that. The apps, they're all firing.
I'm talking about, and
wow,
jumping up and down. I mean, one kid, friend of mine, just before he went through 2 beers, he won 70-some hundred. When I seen him a couple days later, he lost triple that amount.
Oh my God! This is a perfect example of what I mean.
This is what they're doing. I mean, these phone apps. And
I never thought about the apps. The apps. You know, you took me to a good place to eat when I was down there. We went to the saloon over there. What a place! It's like walking into the '60s or something. The place is unbelievable. The upstairs area, I was really impressed with, George. We went to the bar upstairs, the Big Eagle, all the memorabilia that he has. And you took me over to the photo of Abe Lincoln. Was it Abe Lincoln?
Yeah, picture, $1 million photo, original photo.
He's got it insured for $1 million.
Hanging on the wall.
Hanging on the wall, original photo of Abe Lincoln. And by the way, it's nice to see all the history. The food was great. The food was great at the saloon. That your friend owns this?
My good buddy, Richie. He's been there 59 years, November. 59 years, November.
Wow.
And
wow. What's the location, George? Which street?
Right there on 7th and Fitzwater.
7th and Fitz.
In Bella Vista, which is a part of South Philly, but.
And there was a little cafe next door he owned too.
Right, Fitzwater Cafe. Anybody in Philly has been at the saloon.
No, for sure. So anyway, going back to this thing, Bally's in Bronx, the Metropolitan Park, which is going to be in the Shea Stadium, the old parking lot there, and Resorts World, they're the ones that are getting this gaming license. I was just pretty surprised. I just thought that wasn't going to happen. So George, there's this new tax that everyone, including myself, is a little more concerned about this year, 2026, especially professional poker players. So your deductions for gambling losses against your wins are going to be reduced next year. So, in other words, let's say you lose $100,000 in poker tournaments. Well, you can only write off $90,000. You're still going to pay tax on the $10,000. This was snuck in on this one big beautiful bill, and it really upsets everybody that gambles. This could even hurt a larger player that socially has fun, and he comes in the casino. And, you know, he hits a couple jackpots throughout the year on slot machines, and he goes to write it off, and now he can't write off, he can only write off 90%. So we have a U.S. Rep, Dina Titus. She's introduced this Fair Bet Act bill, but I don't know how much she has not been successful right now to get this overturned. It's only a month left here to get this. This is going to go into effect. This is unbelievable. It's just to raise money.
My opinion, and I could be wrong, when they start taxing, even with the cannabis industry, people go back to the black market. Now, the black market in the cannabis industry in California has surpassed legal sales 5 years running. Has surpassed legal sales, and now it's becoming a domino effect in these states. Or if you want, why you want to walk in a dispensary in Nevada and pay $300-something for an ounce of weed, where you can buy it on the street, same quality for $150.
Right.
So that's what's going to be happening with the gambling.
Yeah.
Why go and go through all this red tape and pay all these taxes where you can go to a neighborhood place and gamble?
Yeah. No,
you go to your bookmaker, you go to your speakeasy, in which they have. I could take you to speakeasy in Philadelphia. You think you're in a mini casino.
Wow.
And that's where it's going to go. My opinion now. You want to keep taxing. You want to keep people red tape, filling out forms. They're going to go to the street.
George, what I was surprised was I knew some old school BMs in Pennsylvania, and I knew some old school bookmakers, by the way, and they're out of business, and I was shocked. And I was like, "What do you mean you're out of business? You had a big." He said, "Yeah, the books put me out of business." I said, "What do you mean the books?" I cannot believe that there's 2 guys I know that haven't booked a bet in over 6 years. He said, "Yeah, when that bill was reversed, the people went to the DraftKings, the FanDuels, the big sports books, and they both don't book anymore. I cannot believe how much it's hurt the bookmakers. I thought the opposite. I thought it was going to be big for the bookmakers down the line. It actually hurt the bookmakers.
I'm opening up a place in Philly soon where I'm going to have gambling in it.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have a type of gambling. We're going to try to work out some kind of agreement with the city. But, people, I believe people don't mind spending their money is when you abuse the spending of it.
Right.
Like I said, the cannabis industry, I'm in it up to my eyeballs, but I'm a little worried because these governors, every time they need money, they want to tax the cannabis industry.
Wow.
A lot of the big players that have been in Nevada, right here in this city, for over 10 years, their businesses are up for sale because they see it coming.
I see places here up for sale. So I do see that. So the tax is that high here. George, what are you doing with the Mob Museum here? I went and seen you give a show at the Mob Museum, which
Well, I
is
do
fantastic.
shows, ladies and gentlemen. I'm booked year round. I do shows. I just stand up. I'm a stand-up storyteller. Now I'm affiliated with the Mob Museum for a few years now. That's the only mob museum existing in the world, and they do millions and millions of dollars. So, matter of fact, I got a meeting today. Hopefully, I'm trying to go on tour, sponsored by them, the Mob Museum tour, with my show. So, Mob sells.
People, listen, this proves it.
Mob
This
sells.
show on Netflix, the three shows, the Get Gotti, what was the other one?
Fair City.
Fear City, both great. It showed you the FBI talking about how they actually bugged phones in the homes, and the guys actually went on film to talk about it. And then this latest one, the Mob versus the Philadelphia versus the Mob, that was so good. I learned things I did not know. Now, Joey wasn't involved in it, but on Joey's podcast, he's talking about things that were maybe even wrong and making them right and talking about them. Which is good. He has a great podcast. Eventually, he's got to have you on there, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, guess where I'm going in a week or so? I'm going to Martorano's in Fort Lauderdale. That's where I'm going. I actually got a reservation without you. I can't believe it. That's hard to believe. No, I went on. People. By the way, it's one of the best restaurants. Let me tell you something. The guys I went with last time, they got it. They got in. Well, you know Paul. Right. Paul got in. He texted Steve. That's your nephew?
My cousin.
That's your cousin. Right. He texted him and got us in. And the guys we went with, I go to order because I had never been there before, but I've been to some of Steve's other restaurants. He had here in Harris in Atlantic City, at Paris here. They're not there. They're Hard Rock. I've been to 3 different ones, and I never got to meet Steve. Finally, I did. But so now I go to order. I don't even know who was with us at dinner. This guy grabbed my arm. No. He don't want that. He wants this. He changed my whole meal, this guy. I don't even know who he was. He goes, you want chicken Martorano? He was spot on correct. The guy, I still don't know his name. That guy next to me, all right, well, that's just a good guy. That's all I'll say. Guy next to me grabbed my arm and said, no, he don't want that. I just met him. He goes, and he ordered for me, and it was absolutely fantastic. So I look forward to going there.
Well, he's there. He's there going on 33 years at that location.
Hard to get in.
He had another place in Philly called Macaroni's that he sold to 2 twin brothers, real good guys. They've been existing with his legacy for 30-something years. And also, he just came out to the public market. He just released meatballs and sausage in the supermarkets.
Oh, wow.
So, Martorano's meatball and sausage.
It's not just because of the history of him. The food's great. The food is absolutely great there. So,
I tell you, I eat a lot of places. I travel a lot. And believe me, the places I really like, I could count them on one hand.
Now is that his mother's recipes or something? Or this?
Well,
did he just...
when he was a little boy, I'm older than him. I'm 9 years older than him. When he was a little boy, he used to come for the weekend at my grandmother's, my father's mother, which is his dad's mom.
Right.
They lived around the corner.
Okay.
And my grandfather was the cook on the weekend because he worked on the week, and actually my grandmother or my aunts would cook. But on the weekend, the kitchen was my grandfather. And Stephen was a little boy, 8 or 9 years old. He would come for the weekend, and he'd take his own pails, And he hung with my grandfather. And my grandfather took him to the Italian market. It's the movie Rocky, the first Rocky.
9th Street.
When he running down the Italian market. My grandfather used to take him Saturday and Sunday morning early, start cooking the food for Saturday and Sunday, and he taught him. And he's a little boy up until like he was 12, 13 years old. And that's why you can go to the best culinary school in the world. But if you don't have the taste bud, if you don't have what it should taste like, you're never going to be a great chef. And my cousin, as a little boy, he learned the taste bud. That's the most important thing, how it should taste.
And he just basically, at that young age, learned how to cook from real Italians. That's your grandmother?
My grandfather.
And your grandfather was the cook?
On the weekend, he was the cook. And that's the little boy would stay with my grandfather. And it was such a cute thing because the little boy would be on a chair.
Right.
Standing on a chair, and my grandfather would be near the stove.
Wow.
And then when he would leave Sunday night, because he would have to go to school Monday morning, he would take his gravy for the week, he'd take his meatballs, take his side, and it's just... And I used to tease him because I was older and I'm on the street. I'm on a teenager, and I'm chasing girls, I'm smoking weed, I'm having... I used to tell him, go to the ballpark, go play ball, go do something, get out of the kitchen. And my grandfather used to say, "Sat eat." No, shut up. Sat eat. Leave him alone. Sat eat. And he went. I'm teasing him, and now he went on. He's a multi-millionaire. Thank God.
Yeah.
From what he learned as a little boy.
Oh, that's great. No, I'm looking forward to that. You know, right across the street from that, on the side street, I think it's right on Ocean, whatever. There's a great Greek restaurant too.
Yeah.
Called Greek Isles. You ever been there?
Around the corner, yeah.
It's so good, like mom and pop Greek food. Oh my God. There's 2 spots. I'm looking forward to go. Guys, we're going to do our weekly Wager Wire segment. So it's amazing that this kid, Drake May, MVP, over on Wager Wire, wagerwire.com, the Wager Wire app. Drake May, MVP, he bet $500 to win $15,000, 30 to 1 shot. The current odds, he's the favorite. He's the odds-on favorite, minus 135. So the current bet value on this is $8,904. It's $8,400 profit. However, I was just texted from Matt, one of the guys at WagerWire. He texted me and said they got an offer today. One of WagerWire's power users looking for a potential sale somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000 they may settle at. And you know, for $6,000, it's worth $9,000. So it's 50%. I'll tell you, if you can get it for $5,000, that's a steal. I would like to be part of that, Matt. By the way, I'll be happy to put up $2,500 because this kid's probably going to be the MVP. This New England Patriots have just been rolling, and he's part of it. I can't even believe. Do you follow the NFL, George? I don't know. Do you follow the NFL every week?
I'm not a fanatic. A little bit, not a fanatic.
Well, I mean, if you look at the NFL standings, it's not the teams that you would think are on top of the charts. You think the Lions and the Chiefs, and no, the Patriots are 11-2. The Patriots, like, this was one of the worst teams the last couple of years, 11-2. And then you have, of course, our buddy John Orlando. His Broncos are 10-2. The Bears are 9-3. I am shocked. How can the Bears beat the Eagles? That had to be a.
They did.
Were you home? Were people talking about this? How much of a disgusting?
Everybody, they think the word around Philly is there's locker room trouble.
Oh, really?
That's the word around Philly.
Yeah, no.
There's trouble in the locker rooms. With
it's
football players.
It's unbelievable that the Eagles. I thought the Eagles were the best team in football. When the Chiefs started losing, Lions, by the way, they're only pick them to make the playoffs this year. George, you never were into sports betting, huh? How about inside in the can? Was that a big thing? The guys had.
I think this. What you got to understand. I was raised in the mob family. I was born in the mob family, and there was always. My father controlled. In my neighborhood, he controlled all the number business. Number business was very lucrative, very big.
That's street numbers?
Yeah, the street number, the lottery,
But people don't know. Tell them what that is.
Well, you bet a number. It's a 3-digit number. Right. You bet a 2-digit. You bet a parlay, or you bet a 3-digit number. And the number came out. The last number came out at 5 o'clock. The first number came out at 3, and then 4, then 5. And
who drew the number? How do you know what the number was?
It came from the racetrack. On our area, it came from Garden State.
Garden State
racetrack.
Park in Cherry Hill.
Right. So
that was the attendance or something? Is that what it was, or the handle?
No. They did it all for the
handle, maybe.
The payout.
The payout.
Okay. Payout of the horse they won. Anyway.
Okay.
So when you're raised around that, it was. I seen like on a weekend, just from my father and his mob associates, they took in $1 million, maybe more.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean you win. If you lose Tuesday, you got to give the $1 million plus back. And with the number business, so my father was always adamant in having the family around the dinner table, me and my 3 sisters and my mother. He was very adamant. And when he was in a good mood, it was a good dinner. But then when he would get hit with a bad number, you know, or...
Did that determine his personality?
Yeah, and then the dinner was off. So it made me grow up with I just didn't like gambling.
Right.
I just didn't like gambling.
So you didn't really bet NFL. You still don't bet it, even though it's legal.
I still don't bet. I never was a gambler.
Right. Well, you've seen the other
side of it where, you know, my mother being in a nice mood, all of a sudden my father come home in a bad mood.
Oh,
and
wow.
it destroyed it. Not that he was abusive.
Right.
He just, you know.
But that determined the day.
Right.
If he won or lost, determined the day.
Yes, I just never liked the gambling. Never liked it.
And your dad was away a long time too. Your father
He did 18 years on a murder case.
18 years.
He had the longest murder trial ever in the history of Philly. 6 months murder trial, 17 mistrials called. They completely framed him.
And
if anybody else, they would have been out of jail in 2 years.
Right.
With the appeal process, he did 18 years
because he didn't rat.
Because of his last name. Last name.
That's why they wanted you.
And it's still going on today. You can see, just turn on the news. They're fighting in Washington in politics. They're fighting in state politics. They're fighting in city politics. I mean, it's just never ending. It's just never ending.
Your godfather was Angelo Bruno?
Yeah, Angelo Bruno was my godfather. He was the boss for 22 years. He taught me an awful lot, the proper philosophies about the street. And he was killed on account of gambling. The war started over Atlantic City. And a lot of guys...
Did he live right in the neighborhood?
He lived 10th and Snyder, not too far from where I lived.
He was killed right outside his house, wasn't he?
Yeah, killed outside his house, yes.
Yeah, and then that 22 years, like George said, that started everything. When he died, there was total chaos. How many bosses they went through, how many...
Well, people don't know, but my godfather controlled more territory than any mob boss at that time. He actually controlled from Newark all through Jersey.
North Jersey?
No, Newark, all through Jersey.
I didn't know that.
Atlantic City, Philly.
I knew Atlantic City belonged to Philly.
Atlantic City, Philly, Pittsburgh, all the way to Baltimore.
George, is it true that Meyer Lansky had something to do with resorts in Atlantic City? I read that somewhere. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That was
probably back in the day. Meyer, I knew Meyer. I used to see Meyer back in the 70s. I used to see Meyer about 77, 78.
I didn't know you even knew him.
Yeah. Well, his crew, his old Jewish guys, they were all gangsters. He looked like a bunch of little old guys, but they were gangsters. They all hung out in the Eden Rock in Miami.
Oh, wow.
The Eden Rock. And I used to go down then to go see them. Joe Zonka was one of his guys.
Oh, so you've actually been with Meyer multiple times?
No, only with Meyer one time.
Oh, one time, okay.
He had interest in a Forge restaurant, which was very prominent back in Miami, the Forge. And he had a nephew or a great nephew that worked there. There was a kid, I'm in my 20s. He was a kid, something happened, some shooting, and they shot the kid, or something started out of stupidity. And next thing I know, I get called down to the Eden Rock, and Meyer's there. Meyer says, I might want you to do me a favor. I don't know, I'm looking into everything right now. Are you available to do me a favor? I says, of course I'm available. But he never, I think it got straightened out where you never call him. Now, what kind of favor?
Yeah, we don't have to get in
What kind
that.
of favor he won, all I can tell you, there's a lot of water around Miami.
Right. Okay. Well, listen, guys.
Anyway,
We appreciate George on here. He's going down to today to work out something with the Mob Museum and stuff, and it's always great to have him on. And we'll see you back next week with John Orlando on WiseKracks.
always a pleasure to be here. It's my second or third show.
Yeah.
No, more than that. We have a lot of
got some
filming.
clips.
I film a lot around the country, but when I do a show with you, it just makes me feel good. I got up this morning dying to do the show.
Thank you, George.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, George. Thank you. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Hey, Randy McKay. What's going on, buddy? You're in Jackpot, Nevada?
I am. A little casino trip here up to northern Nevada.
That's why
They
you
give me a
got
pretty
the,
good offer, and I got to represent the Masters hat and getting a little snow up here.
Oh, nice. We're giving some units back in the NFL, holding on to a slight win for the year. The fans are starting to get on us a little bit. I have to put a couple guys in check, but it's okay. Still showing a small profit. NFL, man, see what's going on. The carnage everywhere. What do you got for this week?
I got three, I think outright dogs, actually, 3 underdogs. I think all have a decent shot to win. So,
All right, start us out.
Thursday night football game of the week, I think. Good matchup here. Playoff, style matchup here. We got the 6-5-1 Dallas versus the 7-5 Detroit team. And I gotta stick with these Cowboys. I mean, hot team.
They're unbelievable lately.
Playing great offense, adjusted to the defense here with Eberflus, like we talked about last week. And I like this aggressiveness of Schottenheimer. His dad was a coach.
Oh, yeah.
His dad was very, very conservative coach. If you remember his playoff debacles, and he had some bad breaks there, a couple fumbles with the Browns, and then he had a really good team with San Diego back in the day, but just could never get through. This Detroit injury report is big concern here with offensive line injuries, and their best wide receiver, St. Brown, probably not going to play. So I think that favors Dallas in this matchup. I think they can pick apart, the D-backs of, Detroit's defense probably won't get a great pass rush, and then the D-backs are hurting the backfield. So I see a little mismatch here with a hot Dallas team. I'm going to jump on it, even though they're probably a little bit public this week. I'm going to get on that Thursday night matchup. No rest advantage for either team. They both played last Thanksgiving.
All right. What else you got to bury everyone with?
Another hopefully outright money line dog here. We'll go to Buffalo. We're going to take the hot Cincinnati team with Joe Burrow back. Unfortunately, it knocked me out of Survivor. An ugly game. It was more Baltimore that knocked me out of the game than Joe Burrow. It was, some really bad turnovers, unfortunate fumble at the goal line. I think pretty much turned the game. That's a big swing of points right there. Frustrating to be out of that Survivor and not have a shot at that big pile of money. We every year, tournaments, and we want to win that. That's all about that big check. We want to win that big check. So that very frustrating. The Cincinnati team very hot against Buffalo. Last 4 meetings, they beat them outright and covered. Joe Burrow kind of owns this team, and he gets his other good wide receiver back, Higgins. So he should have some success here on offense. Cincinnati doesn't have very good defense, but the Bills are still missing a couple offensive tackles here. So I see this being a close game, could go back and forth. Hopefully Joey Bosa doesn't plant Burrow into the sod like he did with Rodgers last week. I think they're still digging Aaron Rodgers out of that sod last week that he took on that one. So hopefully that doesn't happen. This should be a close, exciting game, and hopefully we get to cover the outright victory here.
All right. What's your third dog?
All right. We're going to go Sunday night football, and another big match. A lot of good matchups this week. This is a really good week. If you like to, a lot of close, big matchups, big teams, playoff implications, and everything else. I'm going to go with the 7-5 Houston team against a 6-6 Chiefs team. This might be loser out might not make the playoffs. And I like
3.5 MGM, Superbook, South Point.
Yep. That's what I got too, 3.5.
And
Houston Stroud offense is improving every week, and the injury report's gotten a lot better for this team. And then you got the number one defense in the league here with Houston against a KC team that has the offensive line injuries. Mahomes is still playing pretty well, but it's mounting up the hits on him. I think this Kansas City Chief team has just played too many games the last 2-3 years. They just can't get no momentum going this year and not winning those close games. That Houston also had a tough playoff loss versus them last year. So they match up pretty well and have confidence in this game. This could be another outright underdog. I'm predicting hopefully get all three of these outright underdogs. Houston plus 3.5.
Here we are, week 14. Would you ever think you were going to say something like this? So just think about this. We have, yes, all three teams you're going against were the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Just think about that. Amazing. Going against Kansas City, Buffalo, and Kansas City, Buffalo, and then tomorrow night, right?
Detroit. Yeah, Detroit was pretty much NFC, one of the favorites.
These are the three teams picked to win the Super Bowl. We're going against all of them this week, predicting even outright wins. But of course, we grade the games against the spread here. What a year of parity. What a different year. I'm interested to know here. You have a FCS game, which historically you've done very well. Now, would you bet more on the FCS game than you would these NFL sides?
If I could get down more, I would, yes. But it's harder to get down. You kind of got to wait till the day of the game, and you got to have a lot.
I see 4 different spots that have lines on them at least. So,
and you got to have a lot of outs. There's, of course, a lot of other places you can get down on these. I follow the Missouri Valley Conference and the Big Sky pretty well. Of course, you got the North Dakota teams, the Montana teams, and the South Dakota teams. The teams I'm real familiar with, even know some of the kids, even one of the coaches from Montana State. I used to coach them in baseball.
Easy. They'll, if the team wins, they'll say you did something.
Yeah. Even the coach from Montana State, I used to coach him in baseball in high school. So
wow,
that's another story there.
What do you? It's funny that Montana State game moved from 22.5 to 29.5 right now. That game. What's the game you have?
I like the Montana Grizzlies from Missoula, Montana. So the South Dakota State team's got to travel all the way there. It's a tough travel spot in altitude. The South Dakota State team not as strong as they've been in the last few years. They got a new coach this year. This Montana team, short number here. I see them dominating the game in Missoula. For the Grizz, Bobby Hauck's been around a long time. The Hauck brothers are well known in college football. In fact, coach at UNLV for a while. So I see them getting the victory here.
Montana State. Montana it is. Montana -2.5, -1.5. We'll grade the 2.5 under 3 points. So Montana over South Dakota State. All right, Randy, good deal. I'm going to actually bet that one myself. Like I said, 4 books I see up right now. So people will be able to get that. Caesars is 1.5 I'm looking at. So, all right, guys, we appreciate you tuning into Randy. And Randy's going to have a good week here. Just no more brooms. Don't bring any more brooms out. What happens after the broom?
Thanks. More brooms and no more rinsing.
Yeah, we need that. Keep that lucky Masters hat to get us in here. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.